Okay guys, I am back. Sorry for the long break. I was on vacation with my family if you weren't aware, but I am back to share with you my sales that I made over this past week on Depop, Merkari, Poshmark, and eBay. So obviously sales were down because when I was out of town, I did put my Depop, Merkari, and Poshmark on vacation mode. On eBay, I just changed my handling time and I kept my store open. So I do recommend that on eBay when you go out of town, do not put your store in vacation mode, at least in my opinion. It kills my store. It takes it a while to come back. For me, sorry if you hear my printer in the background. For me, after I came back from vacation, it just took me a couple of days starting to list my normal amount of listings per day, and I am back to starting to sell more items with only being a few days back. So that's what I would recommend. We are going to look through all of my sales. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so down below. I do 4 reseller videos a week, and I'm trying to reach a goal of 150 likes per video. So help me out. Let's reach this goal together. Hit that thumbs up button, and let's get into it. This is going to be sales from the 7th to the 13th of November. I just had to catch up on all of my bookkeeping today. With my end of my volleyball season, I was completely behind, so that felt good to get that done. The first thing I sold were these Skechers shoes. These sold for $30. They were a pair of vintage Skechers, like chunky leather loafers. I actually looked these up by the style name and they said that these were men's, so I listed them as men's, a men's size 10. So you can kind of tell when you look at the Skechers like this. Obviously inside is very vintage looking. That's not a newer font that they would use, and there was a style number in there. So that was a nice quick sale on Depop, so I was happy about that. Let me go back here if my computer will cooperate. Here we go. Next up, after that, I sold another pair of shoes, and these were a pair of boots. These sold for $55. These were Ariat boots. Ariat's a good Western brand to be on the lookout for. Black leather Western boots. These were size 13 double E, which is a double wide, I think, or like a wider type shoe. They did have some scuffing and a little bit of dirty around the toes. Here's what the logo looks like. Maybe those are supposed to be 3 horseshoes, I think. I would pick up almost all of their boots if they're in good condition or even kind of worn, if they still have like good sole on the bottom and things like that. After that, I sold, where is it? Right here. I sold this bag, and this sold for, I think it said $29.80 back there. This was a vintage leather like briefcase messenger bag. It was the brand Satch and Fable. I've never heard of it. I just picked it up based on the style and just the quality of leather that it was. And here's what that looked like right there. So pretty quick sale on that, so I was happy with that. I did have to cancel a few orders that I didn't have. It was really old items. And then the other item I sold was today, so that will be included in next week's. Next up, we will go to Merkari. I did finally have a few sales on Merkari. Let me see if any of my completed sales were from those dates. No. Okay. So Merkari, we sold this vintage beige sweater vest for $26.25. This was a fall embroidered vest. If it will open it up, there we go. The brand was White Stag, so that doesn't really matter. It wasn't a plus size. Embroidery, really cute, very fall vibes, 90s vibes, so happy with that sale. We sold a Taylor Swift Eras Tour hoodie for $17.99. I got this, and it had multiple stains. Still made around $10 or $11 profit on it, so that is fine by me. And then I sold these Merrell boots. These sold for $33.75. These were a pair of men's 8.5 leather chameleon hiking boots. I got 2 pairs of these exact same ones. 8.5 is a smaller men's size, but if it's a good shoe in good condition, I would still consider picking it up. So that is it on Merkari. We will move on to Poshmark. This might be a shorter video since I made less sales, but I will say that having a draft bank is also a good idea. I didn't get my draft bank up to what I wanted it to be. I'm listing right now 15 per day. That would have been a lot. Right before my vacation to Disney and Universal, I was coaching volleyball, so it was very, very busy. In reality, I would need to prep my store in the summer for the entire fall. We're having a huge draft bank, and that way I will be prepared. So we'll see what happens next year, although sometimes I don't go on a vacation directly after volleyball season, so we'll see. By the way, my vacation was amazing. If you guys didn't follow me on Instagram, we went to Universal Studios and we went to Disney World. We stayed at the Fort Wilderness Cabins at Disney World, which was really fun. Very different from any other Disney resort I've stayed at because it's not a hotel. So that was really fun. So really good time with all of the family. I got a little bit sick. My nephew was sick. I had to take him to urgent care. He had strep throat, which was crazy, but he ended up being okay. We got him some antibiotics and still had a fun time with everyone. All right, let's go on to Poshmark here. First up, we sold this Victoria's Secret bra. This sold for $24. I'm trying to start getting back into selling some bras. I used to sell a lot. They weren't selling for much, so trying to be a little bit more picky. This was a very sexy push-up bra. It was in a size 36 double D, and then it had this really cool kind of like feather print. So that was a good sale. I sold this vintage ugly Christmas sweater for $25. So the vintage Christmas sweaters to me don't sell as well as the vintage Halloween sweaters, but I would still pick up some of them if you can find like really good unique ones. These had these fuzzy little Santas on them, which was so cute. The brand was Design Options, and it had a front and back print. So happy with that. And I have been taking 95% of offers. I've taken offers less than 50% on items because I need to get the algorithm back going. I need to get sales back going, and I need to make some type of profit because now, since vacation's over, I've got to start focusing on Christmas presents. I use all of my reselling money to buy everyone's Christmas presents, all of my vacations, my gas money, my groceries for my family, our giving money that we give. So it's like, some people are like, oh, whatever, you just do this for fun. I'm like, no, I pay for a lot of stuff with this money. Like, it is my income. Next up are these pair of Athleta pants. These sold for $20. These were in a size 10 petite, but I got them because they were a high-rise wide leg. They were the Brooklyn wide leg crop. Now, the regular Brooklyn Athleta pants don't seem to do as good anymore, but the wide legs can do better. Next up was this J. Crew dress that sold for $18. This was a size 8. Lightweight kind of like sheath style dress. It was tweed with the kind of fabric there, sleeveless. So $18, that's fine. It was kind of an older piece. I sold this St. John dress for $55. I finally figured out ChatGPT AI generated photos, and so I'm starting to use them. I'm really happy with them. I paid $13 for this at a consignment. It did have a couple of stains like these, so I did sell it for cheaper, but it was a pretty quick sale, and I am liking to have those AI generated photos to help me sell items. Next up was a Peter Millar sweater that sold for $28. This was a women's sweater. Now, usually Peter Millar I will get for my brother to sell. He sells on eBay and Poshmark. This was new without tags, and it was cashmere and silk. So I guess with some of their women's stuff, it can still be worth it. Next up was this Y2K American Eagle coat or a jacket that I sold for $20. Just that classic forest green jacket that I feel like was popular with that color. This did have some like pilling or little cotton pieces in the inside. Sherpa lined hood, $20 there. Next up after that, I sold these Vivea heels for $48. I paid $18 for these at a Style Encore. Very much worth it in my opinion. This brand sells well for me. Their flats remind me of Rothy's. Here's what it looks like on the inside. When I first saw it, I just assumed it was some Amazon brand, and then I learned it from another reseller. So I think watching resellers' YouTubes or following their content constantly is really what helps me to learn new things in my business. So I would highly recommend, do that during your spare time. Do it while you're listing. Do it while you're taking photos. That's a great brand to pick up, especially in the heel version versus the flats. Those sold really well. Next up is an Anthropologie Pilcrow top. This sold for $18, and I had an internal server error. No clue what that means. I'm horrible with computers. Let's see if we can get it back up. I picked this up because it was in a size extra large, and my computer doesn't like me right now. So let's try a different listing. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Lily Pulitzer sweater, $25. I just picked this up. This was in a size extra large. It was a purple with these embroidered little hearts all over it. I definitely could have got more money for this, but like I said, accepting almost every offer because some money is better than countering and risking no money. These are a pair of Free People pants that sold for $14. They were tan. They were a cotton linen drawstring pants, kind of beachy, very coastal. After that, I sold the Sundance top. This sold for $27, size small. Blue and white striped tie front around the waist, very nautical and kind of beachy there as well. Cotton top. I sold these Madewell jeans for $14. These were in a size 25. They were the perfect vintage jeans. I think I got these from Grace's bin of stuff that Grace used to sell. Grace is my daughter. If you guys aren't a normal viewer of the channel, she's 20 years old. She has moved out now, and I bought off some of her old reselling stuff. I sold this Tory top for $16. This was in a size 4X. It was a pink sequin top. It was new with tags, but I did have this for quite a while, so went ahead and took a lower offer on that. Sometimes it's going back to where I want it to, sometimes it's not. This is a pair of vintage Guess jeans. These sold for $25. They were in a size 26. They were a light wash, high rise, kind of tapered leg jeans. Obviously, you can tell by this tag here that those were vintage. Next up was a vintage Pendleton skirt that sold for $32. I got this because it gave me very horseback riding equestrian vibes. It was not a wool skirt, it was just rayon, but that style like sells in a lot of different items. Next up was this H&M coat that sold for $18. I've had this since last fall, so definitely time to move it. It was a really puffy, big, soft faux fur coat. I got this when Mob Wife was trending. Missed that trend, and so finally sold it. Yay. Lululemon leggings sold for $15. Size 6, olive green, in movement tights. Next up, let me know how your sales have been as well. Next Friday on my video, I'm going to talk about my PrimeLister automation that I use and what they're doing to help with the new Poshmark changes, where they're sorting by relevance rather than just in. These are a pair of BKE buckle Stella jeans. They sold for $40. The Stella jeans sell good. These were also a size 24 by 34, so tiny waist but long length. They were distressed and they were a low rise, so lots of good things going for them there. $40 on those. Very happy with that. I sold this Talbot shirt for $21. Again, this is another equestrian type print. You can see when it has the chains, or this has like some little show ribbons. That sold for $21. I sold a bundle for $108. It was a Free People orange skirt, a pair of April Cornell pants, a Free People beach dress, a pair of Levi's super low jeans, and a Free People white and tan striped set. So happy with a bundle sale. It's been a while since I had a good bundle sale. Next up was a pair of Judy blue jeans that sold for $15. These were a size 22, and they did have stains that I unfortunately could not get out, so I listed them for a lower amount. And I think that is it because, oh no, it's not. I'm wrong. Anthropologie Maeve pants sold for $28. These were new with tags. Could have got more for them. Took a lower offer. Rope print, very nautical, beachy, kind of preppy. Cute. I like to give people good deals too. J. Crew skirt, $24, size 10. Perfect for Christmas. It was a dark, like emerald green pleated midi skirt, so that was very pretty. Next is a Gudrun Shoden top. This sold for $25. This had a decent amount of wash wear, but this brand does really well for me, so I would still pick it up even if it's not in like pristine condition. I sold this Athleta top for $14. This was a size small Renew ribbed top. It did have a little stain, and it still sold for $14. I think that came from one of Grace's bins. Next up is a pair of Everlane pants that sold for $23. These were green, and they were a Tencel high-rise like jogger type pant. I've done well with Everlane pants, better than Everlane jeans. So I guess keep that in your mind. These are a pair of Ultra shoes that I sold for $72. Ultra is definitely a Bolo brand. I got these at Plato's Closet, I think for $25 or $30. And selling for $72, that's great. They were in like new condition. They had excellent tread. So I was really pleased with that sale. Next up was an Ann Taylor cashmere sweater. This sold for $14. It was a turtleneck, very lightweight. I have had that for quite a while. A pair of mother jeans that I sold for $20. These were the orange Swooner Rascal Ankle Fray. So being a colored denim, that's going to make them not sell for as much, but I have a hard time passing up mother. A pair of XCVI shorts that sold for $15. These were in a size small, and they were kind of like a Bermuda longer length. XCVI is a good art to wear, sometimes boho type brand. Next up was a brand Stad. How do you say that? I got this at a garage sale at the beginning of the summer. It's a size extra small. It's a cable knit sweater layered over this dress shirt. It was getting lots of offers on Depop, but nobody was paying. So finally, I took an offer here on Poshmark. Next up is a pair of shoes, FS/NY. What does that stand for? I don't know. They were a pair of navy blue polka dot open flats. These are decently expensive, but they did take a while to sell. And then I think this is the last sale here on Poshmark, is this Alice Walk sweatshirt. I picked this up at consignment clearance. This is another AI generated photo, so it looks great. Size extra large. Here's what the tag looks like. This even had a stain on it, and it sold in a day for $42. So definitely be on the lookout for Alice Walk, made in Peru. That's also a sign when something's made in a different country, not just like China. So yeah, something to be aware of. Okay, let's move on to eBay. And the first sale on the 13th was this packed dress, sold for $31.88. This was a black wrap dress in a size extra large. I got this at a small town thrift when I was coaching volleyball this fall. Next up is a pair of Athleta pants that sold for $20.99. These were the olive green Trekkie North joggers. I still can do decent. They were from fall of 2024, so that's why I decided to grab them, because they were pretty new. Next was a Kinross cashmere sweater, sold for $25. Anything with cashmere right now I'm looking up. This one was very soft and very cute. This Brahmin purse sold for $149.99 with a coupon. I was running a 25% off coupon while I was on vacation to try to entice buyers a little bit more. This was very pretty. It sold in only one day. Brahmin is a huge bolo brand, especially when it's got all croc embossed like this one. I did pay up for that. I only made around $35 or $40 profit. A Yaya skirt sold for $34.99 with a coupon. No clue of the brand, but it was new with tags, and I looked it up and it did decent. It was a silk skirt with a kind of ruffle chiffon-y in the bottom, so okay. Next up were a pair of Lems shoes. These sold for $30. This can be a good brand to look out for too. These ones were missing the insole, I believe. Yeah. And they sold for, like I said, $30, size 10.5. Eileen Fisher dress sold for $27.99 with a coupon. This was in a size extra small. It was organic cotton blend. Next up was a World Market top. This sold for $17.49. I got this kind of based on style with the embroidery. It did sit for a while. Same with this one, I don't know how you say that. This is sold at Dillard's, only sold for $15.68. It is pretty expensive, but I just can't sell it very well. I've had that for a long time. This Lily Pulitzer sweater sold super fast for $55. This was new with tags. Really pretty pink preppy knit sweater, and I accepted that quick offer. I paid $8 or $9 for it. Next up was this Lululemon shirt, sold for $17. This was in a size 6, purple, long sleeve top, tuckernuck, pomander place dress, sold for $34.99. This pomander place is sold at Tuckernuck, so they have lots of brands within there. I still does well for me. This was new without tags. Some styles can do better than others, so check your style. Next up were these pair of Democracy jeans, sold for $34.99 with a coupon. I grabbed these because they were a size 10, so a little bit of a larger size, plus they were a high-rise wide leg with like a cargo, so a better style than just their skinnies. These are a pair of Sophie Dior sneakers, sold for $28, white leather with yellow trim. This is a good designer brand. However, it does sit, for me at least, for the most part. Could have got more for these, taking pretty much every offer, like I said. 360 cashmere sweater sold for $39.99 very quickly. This was in a size small, so I love selling that brand. Pick it up if you see it. Eileen Fisher size extra large sweater sold for $25.59. This was in a size extra large, and it was 100% organic cotton, so excellent material there. Soft Surroundings dress sold for $25.59. Size medium, smocked, long sleeve, floral dress, very pretty, feminine, very heavy fabric. Next up was a cabbie blazer that sold for $25. This was new with tags in a size 8. It was a python snakeskin print. I sold this J. Crew coat for $22.05 with a coupon. I've had this forever. The style name did say it was boiled wool, and I'm like, is this what boiled wool looks like? Because to me it looks like wear, but maybe it's supposed to look like that. I don't know. Here's a much better sale. An Overland coat sold for $249 with a 25% coupon. Overland coats and jackets can do excellent. This was a leather with this fur hood. It was very pretty, very good quality. Next up was a pair of mother jeans that sold for $39.99 with a coupon. These were black and they were skinny, and they still sold for that price. So I would still pick up skinny jeans from Mother. This is the brand The Limited. This was a new with tags dead stock dress. I got this just for the 90s style, size small. You can see with the tag, obviously, that it is not a newer piece. Next up is a Stod again. These are a pair of black leather, faux leather pants. These only sold for $20. I've had these for quite a while. Faux leather pants do not sell good for me anymore, hardly. This is that Versace jeans couture top that sold for $40. It was a palm leaf print, long sleeve button up top. Next up were a pair of Peruvian connection pants in a size 14. These sold for $15. I have had these for a while, so I'm glad to see those move. This Lily Pulitzer tank top sold really quickly for $27.99. Floral, it was Lily Pulitzer Luxletic. That is their athletic line. Released in February of 2024, so quite new. This Patagonia jacket sold great, $84.99 with a coupon. Men's large, I think it was maybe more of an older one, or maybe it wasn't, I don't know. It was called the Pack In. Oh, here we go. Does it say the date here? Oh, 2022, so it's not. The Pack In jacket. But apparently it's worth a lot of money, so look up your Patagonia style numbers. Ming Wang tank top sold for $18, blue in a size 2X, new without tags. Anthropologie Mauve top, nope, that's in the 6th, that's it. I did have a few instances where I was majorly struggling on my eBay. I don't understand why I could, before I went on vacation, I was able to change my handling time and edit, like a bulk edit. And then once I got on vacation, I was going to just go back in, change it to 1 day lower. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bulk edit my handling time anymore. It wasn't an option. I had to go into business policies. My eBay business policies were a freaking mess because I was mega confused on it. I had a billion different business policies. I had to delete all of my old ones. There's still one set of business policies. Actually, let me show you guys, because if somebody here can help me figure it out, maybe we can like solve this problem together. So I was able to delete a whole bunch of my old ones and make a new one and put almost everything. But I have still a set. So it's my shipping ones. Oh, okay. So see right here, I have these that have 0 listings. So let me delete these. I don't know why these are on here. Okay, delete. So I'm setting it up for 1 day shipping. Here's my new one, 1 day shipping. So here's my old one. It still has 94 listings, 2 days shipping. I want them all to be on this one, 1 day shipping. But it says errors found. And you can like download this like little list, but I don't want to like go through like 94 listings. So I don't know. I don't know what to do from here. If I click on this, I don't think I can do anything. So I don't know. If you guys know how I can get all of those onto the New Day one, because when I tried to edit all of them, like here, see 94 listings. So I can do like select all, edit, and let me see if I can like choose to push them to the new one and show you what it's telling me. I think this is how it does it. So you can go in here, select all, bulk edit. Okay, here we go. And then I go to, at least I think, payment policy, shipping policy. Okay, so I want to change it to my new 1 day shipping policy, save, apply, and then it's going to think, and then it's going to tell me. Now it says updated in 45 listings. And then it says these ones package weight is not valid or it's missing. So if I can find here, let me find one. Let's see, like on these shoes, for instance, do I not have the weight? Watch me just like, I literally don't. Watch me just here, figure this out like with you guys. So what I probably need to do is go into these listings that have the red by them, fix that. I don't know why that wasn't there. And then I probably could change those over. So I think I just solved my own problem with you guys in the screen. So hey, thanks for joining me. That being said, let me know how your sales were down below. Let me tell you my numbers. These are profit after cost of goods and fees. Depop, I made $82.21. Merkari, $52.18. eBay, $524.48. Poshmark, $509.08. Total profit for the week, $1,167.97. Obviously lower than normal, but I didn't get back on vacation. Look at my hair sticking up. I didn't get back from vacation until Tuesday. So I'm still really happy. I made $166.88 average profit per day. That's great. I'll take it. Hopefully sales will start picking back up. Let me know how your sales have been down below. I've been hearing lots of complaints about Poshmark on Instagram. So I want to hear your thoughts. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing a thrift with me video. Yay. So I hope you guys like that. I am currently editing it. And that will be up for you tomorrow, and then a normal haul on Sunday. So should be back to regular content. Thank you guys so much for your support of my channel and my small business, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.